Happy fall, everyone! Is it fall in your country already? As soon as the calendar flips to September, I'm all about cozy vibes. I love painting autumn-themed scenes like landscapes with fiery oranges, pumpkins, mushrooms, and autumn leaves, the list goes on. Mushrooms are one of my all-time favorite things to paint. I'm not sure why, but they're so interesting, diverse, colorful, and magical. They're easy to sketch and paint, and the whole process can be quite forgiving. I actually have a class on Skillshare where I teach you how to paint 6 different mushrooms alongside 6 different leaves. If you're curious, I'll add the link to the description, but today I invite you to join me as I paint this beauty. I start by wetting the entire mushroom with clean water. I'll be painting wet in wet for as long as possible to get natural looking results. The paper I'm using is Canson Heritage and the brush is by Schimoni Art. I had some trouble with the paper, so I'll only link the brush in the description. I want to make sure the paper absorbs some water, so I go over it multiple times. This ensures I can work on it longer, but I also make sure I can see the paper's texture and avoid pools of water, as those can lead to uncontrollable spreading of the paint once I start applying it. I begin by dropping in some raw sienna. I use a photo reference and try to apply the colors where I see them, but as I mentioned, mushrooms are very forgiving. I can relax a bit and trust my intuition while adding colors and details. Now I drop in some ultramarine mixed with a bit of alizarin to create the shadows and give the mushroom volume. I spread the colors with a damp brush. Next I mix yellow with some Vandyke. I add yellow here because the photo reference shows the color is slightly warmer. If you compare my painting to the reference, you'll see that I'm exaggerating the colors a little. For example, the shadow I added is more prominent, which creates stronger contrast, making the painting look more interesting and vibrant. I start adding darker spots using Vandyke. And drop in some burnt sienna on the cap as well. As I move on to the smaller spots, I use more concentrated paint and less water. This helps keep the spots from spreading too much and ensures they stand out nicely. Adding more details below using Vandyke again. I really like this brush because it has a nice point for adding small details, but it also holds a lot of liquid, making it quite versatile. I highly recommend it. Now let's add some even darker spots with Vandyke. The paper is damp, so the paint doesn't spread too much, but still looks natural. These smaller dots make a big difference, don't you think? Now I wipe the brush on a paper towel and use it for final touches like dragging some paint to create delicate lines along the stem. I also use it to soften any hard edges or fix crooked lines. On the cap there are some areas where pieces have chipped away, so I'll emphasize those by adding darker spots around them. I use the down brush again to soften the edges of the mushroom before letting it dry. I painted the rest of the mushrooms in a similar way. It took me about 3 days to finish them all. My approach was the same for each: paint wet and wet for as long as possible, exaggerate the colors and contrast, then add a few details once dry. For mushrooms with white spots on the cap, I used masking fluid. In the end, I decided to add a soft shadow, so they all look arranged on a white surface. And this is the final result. Let me know what you think. If you want to learn how to paint different types of mushrooms and create your mushroom collection, I invite you once again to check out my class on Skillshare. And if you're looking for autumn-inspired step-by-step tutorials, take a look at these two videos. I'll be back soon with a new autumn landscape tutorial, so stay tuned!